I'd say the biggest thing, so like speaking to buyers specifically, so if you're planning to use SBA financing, there's kind of the specific rules that you have to follow to not end up in prison or on Sans naughty lists. I would say try to make sure that you're not being too cute about how you structure deals where sellers notes converting to equity or things like that and like side agreements, because at the end of the day too, like it kind of shoots the program in the kneecaps. And anytime like all these government funding bills are annually, and that's when lawmakers in Washington have concern about funding the program, is just some of the outlier scenarios like that. But I would say one thing is really look at the broker listing and ask the right questions on the front end to determine how involved is the seller in the business. Do you need a long transition period? What is the requirement from a licensing standpoint? Are the licenses assumable if you do a stock deal? Who needs to be the qualifier? Things like that, trying to solve around that. And then I would say another thing too is looking at how big of a business you can afford based on your cash on hand and your post-close liquidity. So post-close liquidity being, if you look at your collective amount of cash, taxable stocks, and financial resources you could use to buy a business, and how much you're looking to use for the acquisition of that amount, how much you're going to have left over. And trying to make sure that you're being conservative from that standpoint, because if you have a mortgage to pay, if you have a spouse, if you have kids, if you have lots of high monthly expenses, daycare costs or whatever, the whole amount of financial resources you have on hand now can't be used for the down payment. And banks are looking a lot more at that post-close liquidity bucket, not just your personal financial statement pre-acquisition. So I would recommend, if you want to buy a bigger business, let's say a $5 million company, and you have $150,000, you want to be having conversations to meet potential investors pre-LOI, because once you're under LOI, all of a sudden it's go time. And then the bank is going to start hammering you with questions to ask, where's the other money coming from for the down payment? And so, not to ramble too much, but happy to have conversations with anyone and everyone. Feel free to either shoot me an email. It's Matthias@pioneercaps.com, or email my head of business development, Rafael Lopez at Rafael@pioneercaps.com.